Hello, everybody. Dr. Dan Miller here. You're on the 250 River with Dr. Dan 250 years ago. The week ending September 18th, 1775. We're doing the top five from that week at that time 250 years ago. A big thank you to our sponsor for this episode 43, which is the Father Abraham Almanac, printed and available for your purchase and use in the city of Philadelphia 250 years ago today. Father Abraham's Almanac, all the information you're going to need to have a wonderful year coming up next year. In their case, 1776, including the best, latest, and most spectacular astronomical calculations by the, quote, ingenious, close quote, David Rittenhouse of our fair city of Philadelphia. So get on down to Dunlop the printer and pick up your copy of Father Abraham's Almanac. Everything you'll need to have a great year next year. We're going to do our top five now, and we're starting with number five, a little on the lighter side. The musical composer Joseph Haydn. So if David Rittenhouse was ingenious in his astronomical calculations, which he was, Joseph Haydn is ingenious in his creation of classical music, which he's premiering an opera 250 years ago this week. Not the happiest time. He's in kind of this locked down artistic contract. He's got one client, and that's all he can have. It's an Austrian nobleman, and he produces pieces of music for this guy, and is under contract for the foreseeable future to do so, and to do nothing else but that. This week he's premiering an opera that's going to look a little bit like a movie we'll call A Princess Bride, not that long ago by director Rob Reiner. So Joseph Haydn comes in at number five. Number four, and now we're going to get a little more serious. Number four in our top five, George Washington. I'm doing a new podcast, by the way. If you want a little different spin, pro football and the America 250, look for that. You'll see George Washington as head coach George Washington in that podcast. So take a look at that. But he's with us today in slot number four. He's in a tight spot. Here's the tight spot. He's given instructions to Benedict Arnold, who's leading half of an army up toward Quebec. It's an invasion, a friendly invasion, if there is such a thing. He's telling Arnold, as the commander of 1,100 or so guys, I want you and your men to be on super duper best behavior. Be everybody's friend, everybody's partner. Everybody wants to be with you and join with you because of your virtuous conduct. That is the instructions to Colonel Benedict Arnold. The other part of the tight spot, though, is he's trying to continue Washington, that is, trying to continue to tamp down ill will that's been created by the punishment of those mutineers that we talked about last time, those riflemen, 3 companies of riflemen, about 33 guys from western Pennsylvania, that he had to punish for an uprising, a kind of a mutiny. And some people are saying he went way too soft. So was far too lenient in handling those 33 riflemen. So he's in a tight spot, right? This is Washington again we're talking about. Am I being too lenient over here? Am I asking too much over there of my soldiers who are going up through what they consider a wilderness to friendly seize Quebec? He's in a tight spot. That's number 3 from 250 years ago this week. That's number 4, sorry. Number 3. Benjamin Franklin writes a letter to a friend as our third on our top 5. Benjamin Franklin's letter has essentially 2 parts to it. Part number 1 will explain how he thinks this war that is happening, which, by the way, he says it could go on for a long time, he writes. Go on for a long time. What we're going to do, we being the Americans, what we're going to do, he thinks, we're going to end up trading space for time. And what he means by that is we're going to come back away from the coast, further and further and further inland and inland and inland. The British are going to find that as they push us further inland, we're just going to fight with a ferocity and with a grit and with an endurance they can't even begin to imagine. That's how we'll win. We'll trade space for time as we come further inland with our towns and villages and defenses and everything else. That's how we're going to win. They don't know what is in store for them, he says. That's part one. Part two is he shares in this letter to a friend. I think this friend is in England, I believe. He shares in the letter a half a dozen major grievances that is animating everyone here. Grievances that the Americans hold against British government and British power. Number one on his list is, he's got his own list, right? Number one is the supply and support and encouragement of warfare on the frontiers by native tribes against unsuspecting and unprepared and, Franklin even says, almost uninvolved colonists and settlers. He said that's the cruelest thing of all, is to promote warfare against people who really don't even have any news as to what's going on the East Coast. Interesting, I bring this up because in the Declaration of Independence we're going to see an itemized list of grievances. A lot of them are going to look an awful lot like these 6 that we see in this letter. So that's number 3. Number 2 on our list of the top 5. Yes, number 2. The flag designed and underwritten by Colonel William Moultrie in Charleston, South Carolina. It's called the Moultrie flag, Moultrie, the Moultrie flag. You've probably seen it and you didn't even realize it. It's a kind of a field of dark blue with a white crescent moon up in the upper left-hand corner, I think it is, with the word Liberty written inside the moon. That's the Moultrie flag. It's the first American flag in the southern region of the Continental Union, and it's been raised today, 250 years ago, as part of a series of small operations back and forth along the Charleston Harbor between pro-colonial rights forces and pro-British forces and so forth. Also coming, as it happens, as a thing called the Treaty of Fort 96 is being written. It's another inland. It's along the Saluda River Valley in South Carolina, and it's an attempt by the pro-colonial side and the pro-British side to come to some resolution as to how they'll control and order and organize violence so that it will not get out of hand and just turn into a kind of a revolutionary chaos. So the two sides have constructed this kind of agreement of neutrality, or whatever you want to call it. It's a tough arrangement to try to pull off, but they're trying to do it, and that's why they get to our number 2 spot for the top 5. And number 1, a little bit beat up there. Number 1 at the top of the list, 12 college students. We're a lot about college campuses right now, aren't there, in terms of the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination and so forth. A lot of tensions on college campuses for a variety of reasons. Well, there's 12 college students at what will become Columbia University. They have pulled together and organized their own militia unit, and they're rah-rah, deep supporters of colonial rights, American rights, and so on. And they're calling themselves the Corsican Guards, and they train every day before classes in how to handle a gun, how to march, how to turn as a unit, and all those kinds of things. They've changed their name 250 years ago now. They've changed their name to the Heart of Oak. We were the Corsican Guards in honor of the Republic of Corsica that was trying to set up its own self-government system. We've changed it to the Heart of Oak, which is the favorite song of the primary leader of the Corsican Republic, Pasquale Paoli. We want to honor him. And the Heart of Oak, by the way, is the theme song, kind of the organizing theme song of the British Navy, which had contemplated trying to help that uprising on Corsica as a way of kind of punching at the French rule that had control of that island. Because remember, there's a Cold War going on between England and France all across the world. And this was the British Navy. Maybe we can help old Pasquale Paoli out here and set up his own republic in defiance of France. Well, the Heart of Oak song is now the name of this anti-British unit of college students at the future Columbia University. They kind of appropriate that identifying song of what is now their enemy. And one of the people so happy about this is one of the members of the 12, Heart of Oak, Alexander Hamilton. So there you go. College students getting together, college students making their voices known, college students deciding that this is the direction that they want to go. Alexander Hamilton and 11 others in the formerly known Corsican Guards and currently called Heart of Oak unit in downtown New York. Thank you, everybody. What's the big idea, Dan? Big idea is this. All of what we just went through. Now, Haydn is over in Austria, right? But the top four. Let's go Washington, Benjamin Franklin, the Moultrie Flag, what's happening in South Carolina, and then finally at the top of that list, the 12 college students on the future Columbia University campus. All four of those are happening before there's an American nation. All four of those are happening as an American Union. This is the important point. American Union first, American nation after, American nation second. The Union is, if you'll allow the phrase, kind of a gestational period before the birth. It's the developmental period. So what's happening now with the American Union affects, shapes, and forms what will then become the American nation. We've really lost sight of the fact of the American Union as the first formation of what will become the American nation. Union first, nation second. Everything we talked about today, outside of Haydn, everything is done as the American Union. None of it is done as the American nation. That's the big idea. I really appreciate you hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week. In the meantime, see you soon.